right, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you doing? How you feeling? Welcome to Family Morning Transformation with yours truly, DMPSpeaks. It's a wonderful Friday in Georgia, and I hope it's a wonderful Friday wherever you are watching. And as you come on, please let me know what city, what state, what country that you're watching from, because we are international, y'all. Because anytime that we get on this internet and we spread the gospel of Jesus Christ and to spread practical thinking and practical learning and changing families on this internet, or they say Beyonce's internet, we are helping people not just in our cities, not just in our states, not just in the United States, but all over the world. I want you to remember every family, every nationality, every creed deserves transformation. So welcome, welcome, welcome. If this is your first time, my name is David M. Pinkston, but I go by the name of DMPSpeaks. I am a speaker, soon to be author. I'm finishing my book, y'all. I'm almost there. Almost there. I got to just get this done, but I'm almost there. But I am a personal development coach for families, and I come to serve you every Monday through Friday at 7:30 a.m. But I started today at 8:30. But I got a surprise, but I'll tell you at the end about tomorrow. Got a little surprise for you all. So today we want to just talk about, just for a few moments, we want to talk about how to increase forgiveness in the home. Again, how to increase forgiveness in the home. Now, I want you guys to share this this session today with your family. So I told you that, I think this is about a week or two ago, that God really touched my heart. He's been really touching my heart. We were doing some consecration with my family and my church, Change Church, with Dr. Darius Daniels here. And he was saying that when we're seeking God, even after this consecration is over, to keep it, to keep whatever God is changing you to. And one of the things that God has had me to really do, and I've been in church all my life, and I'm being very transparent. And all the times that I've been in God, in church, I've read my word. But where I am right now, I have never read my word like I read my word now. And I mean, when I'm able to recite and remember and go back to, it's amazing. It's amazing to be able to read God's word, to memorize it and meditate on it day and night. And the reason why I'm saying this, because when I was reading Genesis, and this is the reason why I'm talking about forgiveness, when Joseph was sold into Egypt by his brothers, they forgot about him. The father didn't even go back to go see where he was. But because Joseph was able to interpret the Pharaoh's dream, right? Joseph still, even though he was upset and angry, I mean, you can imagine, but he still had the love for his brothers. He still had the love for his father, Jacob, which was turned into Israel. What am I saying to you all? In the word, Joseph was able to take care of his father in his elderly age until he passed away. And he was able, he kept the promise to his father, Jacob, Israel, that he would take care of his brothers and his brothers' children and his own children, because he had forgiveness. We have to have forgiveness. As this right in Genesis, we got to have forgiveness in our homes. I'll say it again. We have to build up forgiveness for one another in our homes. If we really start forgiving one another, just imagine what your family dynamic could be. If we really start forgiving one another for what people have said, what your parents have said, what your sibling has said, your cousin has said, but just keeping it in the immediate family. If we start to forgive one another, teen, young adult, that you forgive your mother, you forgive your father for not being there. And I'm not saying this is the easy thing. Let me make this very clear. That's one of the most hardest things that you have to do, especially if your mother wasn't really there for you, or she was there, but y'all didn't get along. If your father was never there and didn't get along, or you know him and you don't have a relationship with him or her, you still got to find a way to forgive, because this is a part of God's plan for your life. And I'm not saying that the forgiveness is going to happen like a snap of a finger and you're going to sing kumbaya. You may never sing kumbaya. You may never be as close as you have wanted to be. But there is a sense, there is a plan that God has for your family to forgive. Forgive them for what they have done to you. And not only forgive them, you have to forgive yourself. A lot of times we dish out forgiveness for what people have done to us and said to us, especially in our families and our immediate families. But we have not forgiven ourselves for allowing that to either happen, or the guilt or the shame or the pain that we have experienced. We have to be able to forgive one another, because this is going to revitalize our family relationships once we forgive. If there is no forgiveness in your home, then how can God filtrate through that? He can't filtrate if there's no forgiveness. I didn't say that you have to so much forget, but you do have to find a way to forgive. And the reason why I'm talking about this, as I was reading God's word, and I said, wow, when we forgive, God opens up so many doors. And I'm not just talking about in money, but in peace, in mercy, and joy, right? Not the joy that the world gives, but the joy of the Lord is your strength. So when you feel weak, think about it. It's not always if you're doing drugs and you're sinning. What about you don't have the posture, the heart to forgive your family member? What if you don't have the posture to forgive your parent? Parents, what if you don't have the posture to forgive your child? If we don't have forgiveness in the home, your home is going to keep going where it is. And wherever you are, it's going to still be a struggle when we don't forgive one another. We have to learn how to forgive one another, even when it hurts. I know God has told you to forgive your sibling, to forgive your child, to forgive your parent, to forgive your grandparent, to forgive. It is a process, but a lot of you haven't started the process because you keep holding on to that issue. You keep holding on to that pain, and you can't, you as your family, and even individually, you cannot move on because you haven't forgiven that person. And let's take it a little bit further. I'm going over my time. There are people that you haven't forgave that are in the grave. They're no longer even here. You have some parents that are gone and that you can't even talk to, and you still haven't forgiven them. When are you going to forgive them? When are you going to start the process to forgive them so that you can release that person from you, and you can release everything that's on you off of you, so that you can live a better life for your particular family? There's a lot of young men that's walking around right now, and they're hurt, and they got so much animosity for their parent. And if I could be right, if I could be honest, they're rightfully so to feel this way. They're rightfully so in their minds to feel the way that they feel. But at the same time, we got to learn what it means to forgive. And I mean the deep depths of your heart. You know you don't want to, but what does God say about forgiveness? It's going to release you. It's going to free you of those pain. We got to learn that forgiveness is for your family. Finding peace in that storm. Finding peace in that storm in your household. What is God's intent for your family? For that, if there needs to be a level of forgiveness in your home, There's something that needs to happen. You need to sit down, you need to work and hash out whatever you need to do. But at the end of that conversation, if it needs to take multiple conversations, you got to find a way to forgive, because life is so short. Come on, y'all. Life is too short for us not to forgive one another. I've had to forgive family members. I've had to forgive friends. I've had to forgive people so that I can move on. Because I didn't want to stay where I was. And a lot of you are staying where you are because you haven't moved in the area of forgiveness. And it does take time. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of prayer. It takes a lot of consecration, honestly. But if God is, I call it the holy hunch. If he's hunching you to forgive your father because he wasn't there, he was never there for you. He never came to none of your games. He never came to none of your recitals. He never came to anything to you, but now he's trying. I'm not saying you got to talk to him every day. I'm not saying you got to talk to him every month or every year. But the posture of forgiveness will free you from that pain that father, that mother, that grandparent, that sibling, that child rendered unto you, because you got to let it go so that you can live the life that God intended for you and your family. Guys, thank you so much for your time. I really greatly appreciate it. I believe that what I've given you today is going to help start the process of forgiving one another in your home so that your family dynamic can be better and that God can come in and do what he needs to do in your life. Guys, thank you so much again for your time. But let me tell you this. Remember I told you I had a special guest coming on tomorrow? You don't want to miss this. This is somebody I've been knowing, man, since the summer of 2012. And this person just keep following me all around. No, I'm just messing. My wife is coming on tomorrow. We're going to do a special session tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. I'm telling you, you do not want to miss this. Yes, Mrs. DMPSpeaks is coming on the family morning session, and we're going to do a special session tomorrow. Me and her and me. We're going to do this together, and it's going to be you're going to see some information come up in about an hour on my page. Listen, don't miss it. Don't miss it. Bring your family, bring your family, bring your cousin that you don't talk to, bring your sibling that you don't talk to. DMPSpeaks and Mrs. DMPSpeaks will be on at 8:30 tomorrow. Guys, thank you so much for your time. Catch us tomorrow. Love y'all. Peace.